Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization started over. This is episode 18, and the series is coming along very nicely. In the last episode, which by the way, my mic didn't record, terrible by the way, Greenland was discovered. What else happened? We had the Caucasian Union. The blue team invaded the yellow country that was right here. Tibet expanded. We had a lot of 3 new countries right here, 2 new countries up here that broke away from the blue team. Korea started colonizing Japan, and a new Japanese country did form up. And overall, the Asian nations expanded. But in this episode, we're going to see world alliances. They're going to expand a lot more, and we might even see a new alliance form up. We'll just have to see. So let's go ahead and start over here in Libya. Now, Libya have had a very, they haven't had really anything happen to them. But their whole eastern area right here goes ahead and breaks away from the regular Libyan government, and they start capturing major cities pretty quickly until they're gonna go ahead and form a border, and that will look a little something like this. And now these guys will officially take another major city away from Libya, but the Libyans eventually do arrive and they capture this major city right back. And they capture pretty much all the lands that they took. And they start pushing in it to the Scion territory. They start pushing into the coast, but a large Eastern Libyan group manages to cut off and encircle all of these troops, and eventually all die, or escape the sea, whatever you want to call it. And this whole area right here is now gone. From here, these two sides will just agree to a peace treaty, and that will look like this. This actually did follow the provinces. So, there we go. It did follow the provinces. And these guys' capital will go ahead and be right here. And, yeah, so there's a new country in Africa, a tealish country. Also, the first thing that has literally ever happened to Libya. Anyways, coming over here to Southeast Asia, we're gonna go ahead and see that a lot of this Indonesian area is being discovered. All of Sumatra was discovered, as well as the waters, the waters surrounding. But they also discover that Borneo exists, and they will start to explore there until they find a new country that is in this area, and that is this Purple Nation. And they actually have a lot more than people suspected they did, because they have all this land, and they have just formed into a country with a capital. So they will go ahead and include their explored lands, which looks something like this. So a lot of Indonesia has just been discovered, as well as more areas in the South China Sea, and eventually the green team right here, which has been wanting to expand more, they're going to go ahead and make a colony in Borneo, which looks something like this. And the Purple Nation will eventually expand, and let's go ahead and take a look at the division of this island. And that looks something like this. So, this country will get all of that, and then the green team will get these portions of land. So, yeah, there we go. Staying in this region, the blue team is going to pretty much take most of Sumatra, but the purple team will go ahead and make a landing in this region, and they take the southern areas of it, as well as this area of Java, and their border will look something like that. Now, the Southeast Asian Pact doesn't want to make an enemy out of a new country, so they're gonna actually go ahead and say, hey, why don't you become an ally of us? And the purple country accepts, so that is pretty good for them. But anyways, more of the South China Sea is being discovered, and they are almost towards the Philippines. However, they just haven't discovered it yet. Staying in the region, we're going to see this Japanese country form up a claim, which will look something like this. So there we go. They have all of this southern Japanese area, and the rest of it will, of course, go to the purple team. But over here in northern Japan, we can go ahead and see they form there's a new country that's formed up, being this reddish country. So there we go. And now Japan has been fully colonized and expanded upon. Anyway, staying in the region again, this pink team is going to go ahead and make a claim which will look something like this. This is a pretty large claim. However, there's no one to really tell them to not do this, so they're gonna do it. Anyways, once again, staying in the region, we're gonna go ahead and see a country actually invading another one, and that is going to be this Chinese country, this beige one, who's gonna be invading the blue one. This blue one was pretty big. You know, they had these two countries under their thumb, but they broke away, and well, we're seeing the consequences of fully taking a lot of land very fast. This area rebelled, and now China's invading you, so womp womp, I guess. But anyways, China will be really just doing a bunch of horrible stuff. They are going to be advancing throughout the border fully, and it's just not going good for the blue team. They don't even have a counteroffensive as their capital is encircled. They will have it will be a very brutal siege in that area. However, for the rest of it, it is just getting like decimated through. There's like nothing here in this region. Maybe in the future this will be a very populated place, but right now it is not. And this area is getting swept through as another major city is taken, and eventually the capital area falls, and this blue country is going to go ahead and surrender. So, go ahead and take a look at this peace treaty. So, in this peace treaty, the Chinese will be annexing all of this southern area right here, which is crippling for the blue team. Their entire population was pretty much down here. If we go ahead and look at the provinces, all of their small provinces mostly were taken, and I was really sloppy when I did this. Hold on. But anyways, that is crippling, and their capital is, like I said, now just a major city of the Chinese team. And the new blue country, well, I mean, it's the same one. They'll put their capital right here, as that's their second most popular city that's in the north. I mean, this one is not as populated as this one, that's what I mean. Also, I'm going to add cities to these new countries. Over here in Central Asia, a couple new nations will pop up. One of them being a kind of bluish team right here, a grayish team in the middle, and a gold country right here. These nations are relatively small, but some of these nations will try to meet up with them, like the purple Tibet country. They meet up with the gold team. However, the purple Tibet country is becoming a little too big, as they also even meet up with the gray team right here. Anyways, for the next event of this video, remember how I said another military alliance was gonna pop up? That is true. Which will be the Travelord Alliance, and this will be formed by China, and who else would join? The Pink Nation up here, and the Brown Japanese country. Korea's like, okay, you don't have to make it that noticeable. And yeah, clearly this is an alliance against the Korean Empire. But the Koreans don't care. They're gonna go ahead and just make another pretty large claim up in this northern region right here. But that is like really far away from their main capital territory. So they're gonna do something else. And that something else is not expanding on the water. Why does it think I want to do that? That's something else is exploring a lot more of the waters down south here, and they colonized Taiwan. From here, the Koreans are going to go ahead and make a landing in the Philippine Islands, which will look something like this. So, the Koreans have a large empire now, and they're going to do something that is really douchey. They're just going to go up and take this now Russian island, and that's how you make more enemies. That's how you make enemies like the red team or even like the blue team that just exists. And down here, you can make enemies of all these Southeast Asian countries. But it seems like Korea doesn't care. So the Koreans will go ahead and form their own alliance, and that is going to go ahead and be the Cross Alliance. So they do form that with the blue country up here, who is still salty about what happened to them. And surprisingly, they form it with this Southeast Asian green country. They just don't want to, they don't really like the growing influence of this Chinese country, and they want to kind of counteract that. So they decide to form an alliance with Korea. And now we can see Asia heating up, so that is always interesting and fun. Well, not fun because people are gonna die, but it's fun. I guess I don't know. Anyways, more nations over here in Asia will go ahead and expand, like this. What is this? Dark red slash brownish country. No, they're more of a dark red. But anyways, they go ahead and expand in the southern territory, and so will these two countries over here. So that will look something like this. So the purple will get that, and then the yellow country will get that, and yeah. But coming over here in Central Asia, we can see that this pink country isn't happy with this red team, so they're just gonna go ahead and invade. Now, if you remember, the pink country or the purple country used to, or no, that's pink. They used to exist, and then the yellow team made them, and now they exist again because the yellow team had a civil war. And this red country also exists because the yellow team. So the pink team will just go ahead and invade a lot, and they will capture the capital. This country is very weak. Looking at their provinces, um, yeah, they barely have any. So their capital gets taken, and when that happens, this country is just gonna go ahead and surrender. So in this peace treaty, the red team will still exist right here, but the pink team will take a large portion of land. Unfortunately for them, they have no more major cities left, so they will go ahead and make their biggest town or whatever a province or a city right here, and then of course that will be upgraded to their capital, and this capital no longer exists. So that was a very interesting war, and this red country is barely existing. They can get invaded by probably Russia soon, although Russia doesn't have too many assets near this region, so maybe not. We will just have to see. And this will be the final event for Asia in this episode, I promise. But a new nation will form up here. This is an immigrant nation, and yeah, so it just looks like that. But like I said, that's the final event for Asia. We can go on to something more interesting. Well, Asia is pretty interesting. It's becoming more interesting, especially with that formation of new alliances. But anyways, let's just go over to Europe. And we're gonna see another war over here in the Holy Norwegian Empire. This place is going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I don't know what I meant by that, but it's basically a big blue team coalition. All all of the countries bordering the blue team just start to invade it. And yeah, it's really not going well for this blue team. They can't really fight back at all, and eventually they're fully taken. Let's go ahead and take a look at this Holy Norwegian Peace Treaty. Ah. In this peace treaty, we can see that the blue team has fully doesn't exist anymore. Some countries weren't able to get as many provinces as they wanted to because there was only 4 provinces within that blue country. Surprisingly, the orange country got one or two. The light blue country got one, and the yellow country got one. So yeah, I guess the orange country did get 2 of them. But anyway, that's gonna do it for the Holy Norwegian Empire in this video. And we're going to see another war. This time it's going to go out and be over here in the Finnish area. The Finland people are going to go ahead and start invading the Kola Peninsula. And they just wrap around this entire nation. This country is not powerful at all. And they just start encircling the capital from both ways. And eventually they do so. And they take the capital. And the country surrenders. This country was never a very powerful country. And of course, in the peace treaty, they are fully annexed, and their capital is turned into a major city of the Finland people. And for the last event of this video, we're going to take a look at rankings, because this has changed a little bit. So, let's go ahead and just do this, and we press cut. So, no, none of that is on here. So, the number one strongest nation in the world right now, if I can find the font, is going to go ahead and still be this gold country. We're pretty powerful still. Number two is going to go ahead and be Russia, while number three is going to be the Ottomans. Number four is going to go ahead and be the purple French country, while number five is going to be the blue Iberians. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Number six is going to be the Swedes. Number 7 is actually going to go ahead and be Korea, which is pretty amazing. 8 is going to be China, which is also pretty amazing. 9 is going to go ahead and be Egypt. And then 10, I really don't know for who could be it. I'm looking at Morocco. I'm looking at the brown Belarus country. I'm looking at the purple Tibet country, South Chinese country, even the North Indian Federation. And that's actually where I think I'm gonna go. Actually, yeah, the North Indian Federation. They're number 10. They just became in the top 10, and I can tell you Cyprus is number 11. But I don't know after that. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know after that. But anyways, that is gonna go ahead and do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.